My weight's gone up and down my whole life, and I blame the Book It program. If you don't know what the Book It program is, when I was in elementary school, Pizza Hut decided that the best way to solve the illiteracy problem was to offer children a free personal pan pizza if they read 4 books, or told their teacher that they read 4 books. And I mean, it was awesome when you were a kid, right? You got pizza for doing homework, but 30 years later, nobody's making you read books and you're hooked on pizza. That's kind of what I'm going through right now. I knew I had to drop some weight because I reached the point where I thought people were talking about my weight all the time, whether they were or not. That's just where my head was. Like when the Delta flight attendant asked me to switch seats to balance out a Canadair regional jet, that'll ruin your day real quick, okay? Because if I think about it, it's not me. It's where I'm sitting versus where there's too many empty seats. But if you're self-conscious about your weight, that's not what you hear. What you hear is, sir, if you move 10 feet that way, the whole plane will fly properly. Could you help us out? Could you help us out? And if you have to use the restroom, please ring your call button so we can send 2 people to your seat. Okay, I don't want to turn this thing into a space shuttle. We're just trying to get to Florida. I don't know. I rationalize too much, right? I think, you know what? Everybody loves food. Why do I have to change? And it's true. Everybody does love food. Bath and Body Works was selling a candle that smells like mashed potatoes. How fat are you? Okay? When you want your bedroom to smell like buttered mashed potatoes. This fat. Turns out I got the gravy one too. It smelled amazing. It was a great deal. It was buy one, get one. And I got a free bottle of fried chicken body wash because I opened up a credit card to pay for it. Like, it was a good deal. Number 1 show on TV 6 years in a row was Man vs. Food. Yeah, they're doing it again. They got a new guy because the first one exploded or whatever. We don't need to do that show again. I learned everything I was supposed to learn the first time around. I watched that show as if it were a documentary meant to show America what will happen to your body if you eat unhealthy every day for 6 years. If you watch it like that, it works. You could leave here tonight. Go to YouTube. Do a search for Man vs. Food. Watch a clip from season 1, then immediately watch a clip from season 6. You'll notice a difference right away. That guy was way skinnier when he started, and he had an amazing vocabulary. Where'd that go? Watch season 1. He's very articulate. He's like, folks, there is a symphony of flavor going on in my mouth right now. When I bit down, I got heat from the peppers, I got sweet from the relish, little salt from the bacon. This place, they've done it, I'll tell you. They have made perfect harmony in the form of a sandwich. And then 6 years later, he's like, this is yummy. This is really good. It's too easy to eat terrible. It's everywhere, and I fall for it. I see some gimmick food, they're like, this is the most calories ever, and I'm like, I gotta try that. Wendy's has a sandwich called Son of Baconator. Their food is making babies when they're closed to sell the next day. Little sandwich children. Golden Corral, that place is still a thing. You ever go to Golden Corral? You can go once. Can't go twice. Because when you go that first time, you learn there are no rules. There is no code of conduct. That's why it's called Golden Corral. It's just like the Old West of eating. I was like, maybe this was a bad idea. We try to leave. The guy's like, sir, is there a problem? Look, man, I appreciate you giving me access to a chocolate fondue fountain for $9. The problem is I just watched the guy walk by with his prime rib. I was like, hey, man, that's not gravy. I know. What is that you got? Whipped cream on corn on the cob. It's called cream corn. But I've needed to lose weight for a while, and I feel like I tried everything, you know, and I would talk about it on stage, and then people would yell out how they think I should lose weight, you know. One lady's like, you should go vegan. And I don't know if there's any vegans in here with enough strength to raise your hand, but look, if you can do it, good for you, okay? I can't do it. I've only had one vegan experience. It did not go well. I was in Jacksonville, and I was walking down the street, and I passed a bakery with all these beautiful things in the window. So I just kind of poked my head, and I go, "Excuse me, ma'am, what's that right there on the bottom?" And she goes, "That's a root beer float donut. And we just took it out of the oven about a half hour ago. Do you want one?" I was like, "No, I want two. But only put one in the bag because the other one ain't making it out of this store." So she hands me the one over the counter. I take a bite as we walk to the register, and I was like, oh. She's like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "I think you made this wrong." She goes, "No, I didn't make it wrong, sir. Are you not aware that you're in a vegan bakery?" I was like, "I don't even know what that means." And so she points to this sign behind the counter, and it says, "No product contains an ingredient that comes from an animal." And I was like, "Well, that's ironic, because this is some bullshit." No, I didn't say it, but I should have said it, because she deserved to hear it. And she did deserve to hear it. She should have known when I came through that door, I was in the wrong place. Look at me. Look at me! I guarantee I don't look like any of her regulars, okay? And I would have had a lot more respect for her if she would have been like, "Sir, I think you might want the place down the street." Yeah. Don't worry, it happens all the time. They'll have everything you're looking for. Milk, eggs, butter, taste. Right down the street. It's like 4 blocks. I'm sure you'll call an Uber. You can wait inside. It's fine. I do feel like I've tried everything, though. Tried P90X. 90-day workout plan. I made it 15 minutes. About 15 minutes. It was hard. Nobody on those DVDs looked like me. Much like the vegan bakery, that should have been my clue. I'm in the wrong place, right? Everybody on there is yelling at me like they know me. Keep going. Love that pain. Enjoy the burn. Why don't you shut up, dude? It's easy for you to say. You look like you've been doing this your whole life. Why not put on one guy that looks like me off to the side so that I have a basis of comparison to how things should be going on my end, you know? I'd like to see if he's also laying on the ground about to pass out before the warm-up's over. I'd like to know that. I might check out disc 2 just to see what happened to that guy. They'd be like, "Well, we lost Kevin yesterday, but we're glad that you're back for leg day." And I'm sure some of you are like, "Josh, I don't know you that well, but my guess is you went into it with a bad attitude." No, I didn't. I went into it with a great attitude. I expedited the shipping. I upgraded to the multicolored resistance bands. I was dressed and ready to go the day I knew it was on the truck for delivery. I put that thing in, and within seconds, regretted every decision I had ever made in my entire life that led me up to that moment. And the thing is, I didn't go out looking for it either, you know? I was just at home one night, watching TV, minding my own business, when this guy comes on. He's like, "Hey, man, you want a 6-pack? Yeah? You want it in 3 months? I mean, the sooner the better, I guess." "Well, call me." So I called him. It was so bad. And here's the other thing that bothers me. At that time, when I started it, my health level was right here, okay? And all I wanted P90X to do was get me from here to here, right? Just a little bump. I was so bad, I didn't want to do anything. I just sat around watching Netflix, eating Oreos. Every kind of Oreo that came out, you know, they do like the special flavor Oreos. I wanted to try all of them so I could give them an honest review and decent. I even put a fake IP address on my computer so that I could order Oreos from other countries. I did. I tried Swedish fish Oreos. Yeah, they're terrible, but it was better than doing CrossFit. And then by the time I snapped out, I found myself here. I was like, this is messed up, dude. I'm fatter because I tried P90X. And that's how I went with everything. If I didn't get immediate results, I would just sit around and get fatter, sad that it didn't work. Gym memberships, exercise equipment, diets. I tried every kind of diet people told me about, even if it sounded made up. I was like, maybe it'll work for me. I tried this Minecraft diet. Yeah, it's just 3 square meals a day. Listen. It's a great joke. It's a great joke. Thank you. Thank you, manager of GameStop. This is the only people that like that joke. All the grandparents are like, well, I'll tell it to my grandkid. Maybe they'll enjoy it. I don't know. I didn't like the order that P90X went in. They start with arms. Disc 1, arms. I need my arms to do stuff tomorrow. The next day I couldn't get either arm higher than where this is. Do we all see that? That's how high both of my arms would go. To brush my teeth that morning, I had to brace against the door frame of the bathroom, lower my head down, and then just move it around on the toothbrush. Because my arms wouldn't work. My wife is, she's been very supportive of me through my comedy career, which I appreciate. She understands that, you know, I'm in a line of work, and I've been in it for so long that my brain is trained to come up with a joke in any situation, no matter how inappropriate a joke might be in that situation. I can't turn it off. I remember the day we found out she was pregnant with our first child. She took the test and she passed or whatever, and she's like, I'm not gonna get excited until I hear it from the doctor himself. So we go to the doctor and he comes in, he's like, yeah, you guys are pregnant, congratulations. And I said, what's the due date? He said, well, if the date you gave me is correct, I'm gonna guess July 4th. And I was like, 4th of July, that'd be ironic. He goes, why is that? I go, I mean, the day that America is celebrating the birth of its freedom, I can mourn the death of mine. And it's a great joke. I stand by it. And listen, at some point, I probably should have just told him I was a comedian. Because when someone knows that you're a comedian, they let you get away with saying things like that. They don't get weird. They're just like, that's what he does. I could tell by his reaction he had no idea what I did for a living. And in that moment, I had to decide, do I tell him and make this room more comfortable for everyone that's in it? Or do I challenge myself as a professional and try to replicate this exact same awkward silence over every visit for the next 6 to 8 months? Of course, that's what I chose. That's back when she still thought I was funny. That goes away. One day I learned a valuable lesson. Just shut up. It's good advice. If I ever meet newlyweds or engaged couples, I always tell the dude, bro, just shut up. You don't know how good this advice is, but it's advice I wish I'd gotten a long time before I had to figure it out on my own. I got terrible advice from my married friends at my reception. And I blame the open bar for that, you know, looking back. I was engaged for 1.5 years. They never said a word. Then there was free Kettle One for 4 hours. Now I got 27 Dr. Phils popping up every 5 seconds. And my one buddy, I knew it was going to happen. I told her a week out. I said, listen, he's probably going to get pretty drunk at our reception. And my only ask of you is if you see him talking to me or even walking my way, you pull me aside or I'll be stuck with him all night. She's like, don't worry about it. So sure enough, he's wasted. Okay, we all knew he's wasted. He's breakdancing by himself on the middle of the dance floor to the soundtrack from Aladdin during appetizers. We all knew. So he goes into his backspin on Friend Like Me, finishes. We lock eyes. He gets up. He starts stumbling my way. I try to find her. She's leaving the room. I was like, oh boy, here we go. And I've known this dude since we were 3 years old. I've never seen him this drunk. I was like, hey man, you having a good time? Are you serious? This is the best wedding I've ever been to. And let me tell you something. I was laying over there, and I was like, I've been married for a minute, you know? What kind of best friend would I be if I didn't give my boy advice about marriage on his wedding night? So listen, if I was just gonna give you just one really good pee. Sorry, sometimes I can feel her walking up behind me. It's just... Just pick your battles. That's what every one of my married friends told me. They said, pick your battles. They said it like it was a secret. Top level intel. I was finally allowed to hear it. Pulled me aside. They're like, dude, it's so easy. Just pick your battles. It's terrible advice. What does it mean on paper? It means if I only argue my side every once in a while, I get to win that time. No, you don't. You never get to win. There'll be times you think you've won. She might even say, fine, you win. You have no idea how bad you've lost at this point. I don't like the word battles. I don't think that's accurate. Very dramatic. 90% of the things you argue about when you first get married are so dumb. She came up to me one time, come here, you got a peeper. What? You have a peeper. What's a peeper? Josh, the white stuff in your eye when you wake up in the morning. Peeper. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. She's like, why? What do you call it? I was like, sleep? That doesn't make sense. Yeah, it does. That's what it's called. So it's at like one side, but it's both, Jennifer. You have a piece of sleep in your eye, or you have some sleep in your eyes. It's the same word, singular and plural, like deer or fish, right? So we're going back and forth, knowing neither one of us is using the medical term for whatever that stuff is when you wake up in the morning. But my idiot friends are in the back of my head going, dude, you're about to decide what that's called in this house for the rest of your life. You might want to see this one through to the end. So I was like, all right, battle pick, let's dance. This is it. This is the one. I picked this one. I would like to select this battle to be mine. You could have the next 10, 15. I don't know, I was not given a number. I would like to choose this battle. She had no idea what I was talking about. It should have been over right then and there, according to legend. Nope. 2 hours later, I say sleep. She says peepers. I'm like, I'm sick of arguing about this. Let's just call somebody else. We get her friend Heather on the phone. Well, I say crusties. Crusties. You kidding me? It's for your nose. You got a crusty or there's a bat in the cave. We're not even talking about this. So we call my friend Dave. I say eye boogers. I'm a grown man. I'm not going to call him eye boogers. Why didn't I just shut up? If I just shut up, I'd be sitting on the couch all by myself playing Call of Duty in a much better mood. What's that, peeper? Oh, I must have missed that this week. Whatever. But you know what we call it? Peepers. You're right. We call it peepers. So what was any of it for? I have no idea.